The city of Cannes is filled with French cinema, French fashion, French pastries, and decidedly less glamorous Tinder boats.
Tinder.
We aren't a big fan of Tinder ports, but let's see how Virgin Voyages' valiant lady handles the Tinder experience.
Welcome to Cannes. Some Tinders are really rough, and that one wasn't too bad. It didn't smell like gasoline fumes like they do sometimes. And they use their own Virgin Voyages Tinder boats here in Cannes, and they're really lovely boats. Once we got going, they were pretty speedy, and so the waters weren't too choppy because they were moving so fast. But while we were waiting and boarding, it was really bumpy because the Tinder kept just knocking against the side of the ship. And so if there were a way to orchestrate being the last one on the Tinder, I would do that. I don't know how to make that happen, but that would have been nice. Not too bad.
Once ashore, we did a self-guided walking tour and lunch.
We were just looking out at the ship, surrounded by yachts. And we were saying, Nick was saying, that the silhouette of the ship is a little different than most cruise ships, but it's actually very much like the shape of a yacht. Definitely has a different flavor than Marseille. Marseille is a real city with a tourist edge. This is a very fancy town.
I was last in Cannes 30 years ago, which means I'm old.
It was before he was even born.
But
it's wild.
Yeah, crazy. Which was I came here with my mom on a summer trip while I was in high school, and we went to 3 places in France. We went to Paris and Disneyland Paris, because even back then, and we came to Cannes for a couple of days.
The designer shops along the waterfront were exactly where you'd imagine all the movie stars come to shop.
Today, I wasn't messing around with the sun again, because yesterday I got a little bit pink. And so I put on sunscreen, I used my SPF 50 face cream, and I brought my hat. So we are ready to go.
We had lunch reservations at the famous Hotel Carlton. Remember, we are gluten and dairy free. While this location didn't have any allergy markings on the menu, the staff was well versed in what each item contained, and they were able to help us make selections from the existing menu with minor modifications. There was even a gluten-free bread basket safely packaged up to avoid cross-contamination.
I don't know how it would be cool, but hot, it is excellent bread. They're playing a French version of Eleanor Rigby. I love it. A woman came around with a giant tray of lemon and lime and orange and mint slices. Well, the mint was leaves, the rest of it was slices, and asked if we wanted any to go in our water. I got mint. We're just gonna look at Nick's face as he experiences the sea bass carpaccio. So, carpaccio is often beef, and it's raw beef, very, very thinly sliced. But this is a sea bass carpaccio. And we mentioned crudo. Crudo is often like a raw fish. So akin to sushi, but prepared, crudo would be in an Italian way. And this sea bass carpaccio looks like cranberries and pomegranates, pea shoots, some citrus oil, and a good hit of salt. And the salt makes a huge difference in the flavor. It's perfect for summer. There's a little bit of lime zest I see. Yeah. It's beautiful and exactly French Riviera.
Voila.
Thank you.
No dairy, no gluten.
Perfect.
Merci.
What did you get?
I got an artichoke with a mustard sauce.
Indeed.
I was thinking it might be like last night's artichoke.
It is not.
It's not. It is the whole thing.
Oh, I hate to take it apart, but we have some carrots, some asparagus, some zucchini, some red peppers, these beautiful vegetable chips, and underneath here is an eggplant, almost like a baba ganoush.
I don't normally get a whole artichoke because it's a lot more work than sometimes I think it's worth. This one has been so well steamed and opened that you really can get a lot out of each leaf and feel like you're getting a lot out of it. And the mustard sauce is
How do
delicious.
you eat an artichoke?
Oh, well, you take out the leaves. Don't try to eat this part.
The green part is not good.
It's not what you want to eat.
It's mostly a vehicle for the dip.
Yes.
This is
Which
a
if-
mustard dip.
Which if you were to get it at like an Italian restaurant, you would almost get like an escargot sauce. You would get like a buttery,
Very buttery.
and there'd be like breadcrumbs and stuff. There's none of that. It's just very simple and mustard sauce.
And you scrape it with your teeth and get the meat off of the end of the leaf.
When you're done, you get a little.
Discard plate.
Yeah.
I feel like you could be lowbrow, which I am sometimes, and just take the veggie chips and make it chip and dip. And the pea shoots are so pretty. Look at the little tendrils. Our server told us it's greens for your health. So here's to your health. The basil in that is incredible. Almost as incredible as the outfits of the other guests sitting around me. This place is perfect for people watching. If you want to feel like you're rubbing elbows with movie stars, Hotel Carlton is the place. When we were at lunch, we were offered outside seating, and we opted for inside because it would be cooler. But I also want to note that some of the outdoor diners were smoking, so that may be a thing here, and if that bothers you, request inside. So initially, Nick was going to book us into lunch at one of these beach clubs, maybe even the beach club at the Carlton. But we are happy with where we ended up because it had air conditioning. But these are really swanky. We did read that this area was featured in Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief, but we probably mostly remember it as, I don't know, the French Riviera as the site of
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. There is a lot of construction going on. Some of it is blocking the beach side, some of it is blocking the luxury shop side. Either way, it's a little bit of an eyesore. I'm sure if I came back after the construction was done, it would be even nicer. But I'm kind of having to overlook because almost everything has a lot of impaired visibility.
We headed a few blocks inland from the water and found a lot more cafes and shops priced appropriately for us regular non-movie star folk. There was even a gluten sweeper on the street. I couldn't help but take a video. We had heard that there was a gluten-free cafe and we were out to find it. The signage was still there, but the baked goods were gone. The owner apologized that they were now no longer gluten-free.
Sometimes our vacations feel like a goose chase for gluten-free things. And that was one of those that didn't work out. So we're gonna backtrack somewhere else that is a popular bakery that has a lot of macarons and see if any of them can be verified to be gluten and dairy free. Wish us luck in communication skills. All of the macarons are gluten-free, and that chocolate one is also fully vegan. Aside from the chocolate vegan one, you can also get the ones that are filled with jelly instead of cream, and that way it's dairy-free and gluten-free. So we got the jelly raspberry and apricot, and the almond-filled is a cream made with almond milk. So that's a good one too. 4 options. Broken finger. Are we doing a macaron bracket?
Yeah, we can totally do it as
Okay.
as like a grid.
Apricot with a gel filling. When I was little, I had a doll that was a strawberry shortcake brand, but she was a friend of strawberry shortcakes. She was apricot. And when you squeezed her, she breathed out air that smelled like that. Okay, this is not meant to be insulting. It reminds me a lot of Fruit Loops in such a good way.
Oh,
Yeah?
I get that.
Yeah.
Le framboise. Raspberry.
Raspberry. But if you say it, no, not like that. My French is rough.
It is decidedly better than the fruit gluten.
That one was very good. Even though fruit is not my preferred. Palate cleanser.
Vegan chocolate in the creamy conference.
And to make that kind of a macaron with no egg in it is some kind of sorcery.
I wouldn't want to be raspberry right now, I'm just saying.
That was delicious. If you could put the spirit of a brownie into a vegan macaron, and, which actually elevates it, that's it.
We were so excited about the almond one that we got not one, but two.
I have some suspicions. It takes a minute for the almond to hit.
Yes, because it's on the, because you don't get it from the outside, you get it from the inside, and then you're like, there's that marzipan-y wonderfulness.
Almost like a little cherry-ish. Somehow we tasted them in the order that we would like them.
Yes.
I think we knew.
Yes.
Come here, try them all. Oh, and we did specifically ask, are the macarons gluten-free? And they said yes, all of them are. Every last one.
We shopped at what seemed to be the French equivalent of a Carter's, not Cartier, for some cute French clothes to bring home to the kids. This area was not without its souvenir shops and tourist traps.
She did have a piece of paper that said what the allergens were.
That's a very fancy explanation for like 3 words written in marker.
In the end, the piece she sliced off was huge, and we were like, that's too big.
Which was the minimum.
That was the minimum.
It was.
And so we said, can we get like the prepackaged pack of them? And it was €45, which was just a little more than we wanted to spend on nougat today. So we felt badly walking away. She was really lovely. It was really delicious.
Keep in mind that traditional buckwheat crepes are naturally gluten-free, and a number of the creperies we passed had advertising for gluten-free options. Then we hiked up a maze of stairs to the church with fantastic views of the port and the city below.
We're at Our Lady of Hope, which was built between the 1520s and the 1620s. And we found out that the patron saint of Cannes is St. Nicholas. In July, they have live music down in this courtyard. There's the ship. Both at Notre Dame du Espérance, Our Lady of Hope, here in Cannes, and yesterday in Marseille, both of the churches had a lot of nautical themes. There were a lot of anchors, a lot of prayers for safety, and they're both towns that are port cities that depended on the sea as they were growing small little port towns. But that can be really dangerous and scary, and so there's lots of prayers for safety as the business of the town depends on folks taking to the sea. You see that reflected in their faith. I do want to mention, we got like one little shot of the film festival building, the convention building, and it just isn't that exciting, so I didn't quite realize that was it. I thought surely there was more of it that was going to look fancier, and so I didn't stop and pose on the steps. There was no red carpet, so it threw me off. I was looking for a step and repeat. But there's movie stars just hanging out there, but they weren't. Instead, it was construction. So it was all construction, and so I don't have a whole lot to show you there, but that's because when it's off season, there's not that much to show you.
Virgin had fruit-infused water waiting for the guests, and we boarded a tender back to the ship. Cannes was beautiful, but our favorite port of the sailing was yet to come. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. We'll see you then, travelers.